Got the Acadia in the shop. Probably about 20 minutes into the job right now. So there's an intake bolt here, here, one right here, and one back there. These back two here have to stay in. You can't get them out past the cowl because they are some pretty long bolts. Other than that, there's a couple PCV hoses. There's a line here that goes to the brake booster. Electrical connector for the throttle body. There's a connector for the manifold pressure sensor. There's one back here on the back of the intake. Two bolts right there, one for the wiring harness, one for the power steering pump reservoir, and there's another one up here for electrical connectors. But if I remember right, that should be it for bolts in the intake and stuff bolting to it. Take a magnet, pull those up, and then the intake should be ready to come out. But I am trying to do this one-handed too, so I set the phone down here for a sec. We'll get the intake out of here. All right, that was it for those. So the upper intake's out. Lower intake can stand for this job. Next up is going to be pulling the coil packs, get the valve covers out of the way. Just going to try to get the top end of the motor stripped down. I didn't really get started on this till like 7 p.m. tonight. So I don't know how late I feel like being out in the shop tonight. I might just call it quits here once I get the top end apart, or it might turn into one of those nights where I'm out here till 3 or 4 in the morning and the thing is completely disassembled tonight. Parts won't be here till tomorrow, so I can't get much farther than the disassembly tonight. Alright, all the coils are out, so now I went ahead and pulled out the fuse box. There are just clips to go all the way around it. You need to drop the two 10s here in the center that hold the wiring harness in. There's also the positive on the side from the alternator and down to the starter. Coils are just some 10 mils that bolts them in. But before I can get the front valve cover off, I need to get the bracket for the power steering pump off, which sits under that coolant hose. So while I'm working my way there, I'm going to go ahead, get the rest of the fuse box base out of here, try to lay as much of the wiring harness out of the way as I can, and then I'll drain the cooling system. Get that hose off. The front engine mount's going to have to come off. Probably go ahead and do that. And just keep working away, get the top side of the motor apart here. They're not bad, they're just time consuming. Oh, you're going to need to take the battery out too, or at least disconnect it. It is in the floor behind the passenger seat in front of the second row seats. If you lift the carpet up there, you'll find it. There's an access panel for it. Alright, well, valve covers are off. So I've got the lower mount for the fuse box out. I took the engine roll restrictor out and its mount to the block. That let me get access to the bracket over here for the power steering reservoir. After that was out of the way, there are two bolts left in the lower intake. It does have to get unbolted. It doesn't have to come all the way out. You just need to be able to lift it up a little bit so you can get to a couple of valve cover bolts. After that though, it's just taking the valve covers off. So looking in here, not the worst one I've seen. Actually, compared to most of these I do, this one's in pretty good shape. This front chain's got quite a bit of slop in it. The back one doesn't feel terrible. But this engine's getting timing chains, it's getting cam phasers, it's getting solenoids. We're doing all of the VCT stuff on this one. It's a dog. It doesn't want to get out of its own way. The camshafts aren't responding correctly. I'm watching cam timing as I drive it, and if it moves at all, it's a very minute movement, nothing like what it should be. And like I said, it's way down on power. So I'm trying to decide now if I want to call it a night. Been on it for a little under 2 hours, or if I want to decide to jack it up and just take the front cover off tonight. We'll see. Alright, we made a little more progress. I've got the alternator off. Idler pulley is part of the alternator bracket. Once you get all that loosened up, it just slides over and you're good. Then I've got the belt tensioner off. There are 3 bolts on it. You may only think that there's 2 by looking at it, but the center bolt does go through. So if you don't get that, you'll be sitting there fighting it for quite a while, and you'll end up breaking the timing cover. What else did I get done? I got the water pump pulley off. We have coolant draining right now, so I'm going to let that drain for a while before I even try to pull the water pump. I've got the front wheel off. It's on the jack. The little cover here is off. Got crank pulley off. Just use this one of the 3-jaw pullers with the short rod in it. It will go all the way down, but at that point you can just grab it and pull it off. Other than that, that's about where I'm at right now. Next up would be the water pump has to come off. The bracket right here for the AC compressor needs to come off so it can move over to the side. And then on the other side, the power steering pump is going to have to get unbolted and just moved over. You don't actually have to disconnect any of it. You just need to slide it over enough that you can get the front cover off. But that's where we're at right now. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I'm going to let that coolant drain as much as it can. I'll just get back at it tomorrow. I've got till Thursday to get this done. So that's 4 days. This is really, if you work straight through, not on a lift, you can probably do it in about 10 hours. Moving at a decent pace if you've done at least done one before. But this is my first time doing one of these with the engine in chassis. Usually when I do these, I unbolt the cradle and set the whole powertrain down and then do it out of chassis. But obviously I'm doing this in my home garage, so I don't have access to a lift right now.